A man who could fill any red carpet chooses a quiet street instead, holding one hand, saying nothing. No announcement, no caption, no camera crew, just Keanu Reeves and Alexandra Grant walking like two normal people who forgot the world was watching. And that is exactly why nobody can stop talking about it. Because in a time when relationships are performed for likes, theirs has stayed almost invisible since that first public handhold at the LACMA Art and Film Gala back in 2019. So what really happens on a rare night out like this one? Stay with me. What makes this moment interesting is not that Keanu Reeves and Alexandra Grant were trying to create a headline. In fact, the attention seems to come from the opposite reason. The image described in the title captures something simple and familiar. A couple walking together, holding hands, and sharing an ordinary public moment. For celebrities, even an ordinary moment can become highly visible, but that does not automatically make it dramatic or mysterious. Sometimes a photograph is simply a photograph. And the most honest way to understand it is to look at what is actually shown rather than adding details that have not been confirmed. In this case, the visible gesture says that Keanu and Alexandra were comfortable enough to walk side by side while holding hands. Beyond that, it is important not to pretend that one image reveals every private feeling, every conversation, or every detail of their evening. Fans can appreciate the warmth of the moment without turning it into a fictional story. That balance matters, especially when talking about someone like Keanu, whose public image has been shaped less by loud declarations and more by the quiet way he carries himself. Over the years, audiences have seen him become one of the most recognizable actors in the world. Yet he has generally avoided presenting his personal life as a constant public performance. Alexandra has also maintained a relatively private presence, even though her work as an artist and her connection with Keanu have naturally brought more attention to her. Their relationship has often stood out because it has not been presented through a non-stop stream of staged updates. There is no need to fill every silence with assumptions. There is no need to describe them as perfect, because real relationships do not need that kind of language to be meaningful. What fans are responding to is the feeling of ease in a small public gesture. Holding hands can look insignificant when seen in isolation, but it can also communicate familiarity, trust, and affection without requiring a speech. It is one of those gestures that many people recognize from their own lives. A hand reaching for another hand while walking through a public place is not a grand announcement, but it can still feel personal. That may be why the moment has connected with so many people. Instead of a carefully prepared statement, fans are seeing a natural interaction that does not appear to demand attention. The couple's privacy makes these appearances feel unusual, but rare does not mean secretive in a dramatic sense. It may simply mean that they choose to keep most of their shared life away from cameras. That choice deserves respect. Public figures can be admired without being treated as characters whose every movement must be explained. When a new photograph appears, audiences often want immediate answers. Where were they going? What had they been discussing? How long had they been together? And what does the gesture mean for the future? Those questions are understandable, but unless the people involved have confirmed the answers, they remain questions rather than facts. A responsible story should make that distinction clear. The confirmed element is the public appearance itself and the visible hand-holding described in the report. The unconfirmed elements are the private details surrounding it. Keeping that line clear does not make the story less interesting. It makes the story more believable. Fans do not need invented dialogue or imagined explanations to enjoy seeing Keanu and Alexandra together. The image already offers a gentle moment of connection. It also reflects something that has been noticeable in the way their relationship is discussed publicly. The focus often returns to companionship rather than spectacle. Keanu has spent decades working in films that place him in intense, emotional, or physically demanding situations. On screen, he has played characters surrounded by danger, conflict, and impossible choices. Away from those roles, however, audiences are often drawn to the contrast between the larger-than-life image of a movie star and the quieter reality of a person walking beside someone he cares about. That contrast can make a simple date night feel more relatable. The actor may be known around the world, but the gesture itself is not unusual. Couples hold hands when they feel close. They walk together, pause together, and share time together. The fame changes how many people notice the moment, but it does not necessarily change what the moment is. Alexandra's presence is also important because she should not be reduced to a supporting role in someone else's story. She is an artist with her own creative identity. And any discussion of the couple should remember that their relationship involves two complete people. Keanu is not the only person with a public career, and Alexandra is not simply known because she stands beside him. Her work has its own place, while their relationship is one part of the way the public understands them. That is another reason exaggerated coverage can miss the point. When every appearance is turned into a dramatic event, the individuals disappear behind the headline. A more natural approach allows the audience to notice both the affection between them and the separate identities they continue to maintain. The hand-holding moment does not need to be presented as evidence that Keanu and Alexandra are trying to prove anything. There is no verified reason to claim that they wanted to send a message, answer criticism, or create a public reaction. It is safer and more honest to say that they were seen together and that the gesture caught attention because they do not regularly offer the public a detailed view of their private life. The interest comes from rarity, not from a confirmed hidden meaning. This distinction may seem small, but it changes the entire tone of the story. Instead of building suspense around an invented secret, the focus remains on a genuine public moment. Instead of treating the couple as a mystery to solve, the audience can simply observe the tenderness of the scene. That approach is especially suitable for fans who have followed Keanu's career for a long time. Many fans appreciate him not only for his performances, but also for the sense that he does not constantly chase attention. He has become famous through major productions, yet his public appearances often feel more understated than people might expect from a leading actor. That does not mean every appearance should be interpreted as proof of a particular personality trait. No photograph can tell us everything about someone's character. Still, the public's response shows that people value a sense of normality from him. When he appears in a quiet setting with Alexandra, fans often react warmly because the moment feels less like a promotional event and more like a glimpse of two people spending time together. The word glimpse is important. A glimpse is limited. It does not give us the full story, and it should not be used to create one. We can see the public action, but we cannot hear every private word. We can recognize that they look close, but we cannot claim to know exactly how they felt at every second of the evening. We can appreciate that they held hands, but we should not attach promises or predictions that neither person has made. This kind of careful storytelling is not a lack of support for Keanu. It is a form of respect. Supporting a favorite actor does not require repeating every rumor or presenting every flattering assumption as fact. Genuine admiration can exist alongside accuracy. In fact, accuracy protects the person being discussed because it prevents a small, positive moment from being surrounded by unnecessary claims. The title itself points to the central detail. Keanu Reeves and girlfriend Alexandra Grant were seen holding hands on a rare date night. The word rare describes how infrequently fans see these private moments in public coverage, but it should not be stretched into a claim that they never appear together or that the evening was extraordinary in a way nobody confirmed. Similarly, the word date night identifies the context presented by the report, but it does not give permission to invent a restaurant, a destination, a conversation, or a schedule. Those details may sound harmless, yet adding them without reliable confirmation can turn a warm story into misinformation. The safest version stays close to what is visible and reported. They were together. They held hands. The appearance attracted attention. Their relationship remains mostly private. Those facts are enough to build a thoughtful story. There is also something emotionally familiar about seeing a couple choose a small sign of closeness in a public place. People do not always express affection through dramatic gestures. Sometimes it is a hand placed gently on another hand, a shared smile, or the decision to walk at the same pace. These details are easy to overlook, but they often carry more emotional weight than a polished statement because they happen naturally. Again, the image alone cannot prove an entire relationship, but it can show a moment of connection. That is the difference between appreciating what is present and inventing what is absent. Fans may also be responding to the way Keanu and Alexandra appear to exist outside the usual celebrity cycle. Many public relationships are constantly surrounded by announcements, coordinated appearances, and social media updates. That is not automatically wrong, but it can make audiences feel as though they are watching a carefully managed presentation. With Keanu and Alexandra, the limited public visibility creates a different kind of attention. When they are seen together, the moment can feel more personal because it is not happening every week in front of a camera. Yet privacy should not be confused with a marketing strategy. We cannot know whether the couple planned to be photographed, ignored the cameras, or simply happened to be noticed. Unless they explain it themselves, the honest position is to avoid guessing. What we can say is that the public reaction has been warm, because many people enjoy seeing a respected actor share a calm moment with his partner. That response says something about the audience as well. Fans often want stories that offer a break from conflict, speculation, and exaggerated celebrity drama. A photograph of two people holding hands can feel refreshing because it does not require anyone to choose sides. There is no argument to decode and no controversy that needs to be manufactured. There is only a brief scene that many viewers find pleasant. When coverage remains clean and measured, the audience can enjoy the moment without being pushed toward outrage or unrealistic expectations. That is important because celebrity stories can easily become distorted by the pressure to make every headline bigger than the last. A simple outing becomes a secret announcement. A smile becomes proof of a major change. A quiet appearance becomes a message to unnamed critics. Those interpretations may create quick attention, but they do not create trustworthy storytelling. A stronger approach allows the story to breathe. Keanu and Alexandra were seen together, and their hand-holding stood out because it was a rare public glimpse of their bond. That is already enough. It does not need an invented conflict, a dramatic prediction, or exaggerated praise. Keanu's fans can celebrate the moment in a way that reflects what many admire about him, a sense of warmth without performance. But even that description should be used carefully. We are seeing one moment, not receiving a complete personal profile. The responsible conclusion is not that the photograph proves he is a certain kind of person in every situation. It is simply that the public image captured in this scene feels calm and affectionate, and fans responded positively to it. Alexandra's role in the moment should be treated with the same care. She is not just a headline attachment, and the story should not suggest that her value comes from being connected to a famous actor. The most balanced view is that two people with their own lives and careers were seen sharing time together. Their fame made the moment newsworthy, but their humanity made it relatable. Perhaps that is why the image has traveled so quickly through entertainment conversations. People are not only interested in famous names, they are also interested in recognizable emotions. Companionship, comfort, and quiet affection are easy to understand across cultures and generations. Viewers may see the photograph and remember their own experiences of walking beside someone important to them. The setting may be different, and the level of public attention may be completely different, but the basic gesture remains familiar. It does not announce a perfect relationship. It does not guarantee anything about the future. It simply shows closeness in that particular moment. When discussing the couple, it is also worth remembering that a public relationship does not become public property. Keanu and Alexandra may choose to share selected moments, but that does not mean audiences are entitled to every private detail. A rare appearance should be received as a limited public glimpse, not as an invitation to investigate their entire personal life. Respectful fans can be curious while still understanding boundaries. They can appreciate a photograph, discuss the visible details, and move on without demanding explanations that have not been offered. This kind of respect is especially meaningful when the people involved have not built their relationship around constant public access. The fact that they keep much of their life private may be one reason the public reacts so strongly to even a small gesture. When information is limited, people sometimes fill the gaps with imagination. But imagination should remain imagination. It should not be presented as reporting. If a future interview or official statement provides more context, that information can be discussed directly. Until then, the strongest story remains the one grounded in what was actually shown. There is also no need to compare their relationship with other celebrity couples. Comparisons often create unfair expectations and can make a simple appearance seem like a competition. Keanu and Alexandra do not need to resemble anyone else. Their way of maintaining privacy is their own choice, and audiences do not need to rank it against other public relationships. The focus can stay on this particular date night and the genuine reaction it created. The reaction has been affectionate because fans saw a side of Keanu that feels personal without being intrusive. Holding hands is a small action, but in a world where celebrity moments are often carefully analyzed, small actions can feel surprisingly powerful. They remind viewers that fame does not erase ordinary human connection. Behind the film rolls, red carpets, and public interviews, there are still moments when a person is simply spending an evening with someone close to them. That is the heart of this story. Not a secret message, not a dramatic revelation, and not a reason to exaggerate. Just a rare public moment that allowed fans to see Keanu and Alexandra walking together hand in hand, with the kind of quiet closeness that does not need to be explained. So before you scroll on, I want to hear from you honestly. What is it about this one photograph that hits people so hard? Is it the privacy, the fact that they built something together before they became a story, or just how ordinary it looks? Drop your thought in the comments, because I read them, and the best ones usually teach me something I missed. If this gave you the real timeline instead of the recycled headline, hit that like button and subscribe if you want more grounded breakdowns like this. No exaggeration, no invented drama. And be kind in the comments, especially about her. She never asked for any of this.